Fired up and I have a live feed. I hope the tribe saw my post. I am late. Oh, Kaylin's here. Yay. Hi. Good to see you and well, I can't see you, but I can see you're typing. You can see me. You and Abe's. Yay. All right, so let me do this. I pulled up Hey Jude. Fortunately, it's one of those songs that I know in my head, so I didn't hang on, I've got another screen up, so I can't see what I'm typing. I didn't have time to get the lyrics printed out because I didn't ooh, I can get these all on, yay. But I had a plan in my head. If you showed up and I had the time, I'm just going to wing it. What I did have time was to figure out the key, which was pretty quick, and it's an F. And that's, I watched a live version. George was actually playing the bass. Paul was playing keyboards. And John was playing the guitar. So it's in F, not a favorite key. But my tuned down guitar over here, I can play it in G form. That probably makes no sense. No, you have a musical background. That will make sense to you. So my tuned down guitar is tuned down one full step or 2 frets. So playing it in the key of F on that guitar is in G form, which I really like. That's a great key. So I thought, you know what? I think I can wing it. I got the, it didn't take me long to figure out the chord progressions. So what I did is on another screen, I pulled up the lyrics. So when I get warmed up, if you're still here, I haven't even played it all the way through myself, but I can wing it enough because I know the song to get it pretty close. All right, let me switch back to my screen. Kaylin says ek. Does ek mean good? Usually ek means I'm sure it's code for something better. The Batgirl's here. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in from Ohio. I have a story for you. And Z's here. Z, I have not forgot about Cheeseburger in Paradise. I was thinking about that today. It's like, if Kaylin shows up, she requested Hey Jude, but that's a song I've heard in my head. And Cheeseburger in Paradise is not one, I only heard it a couple times in my life, as you know. And I just haven't had time to sit down and work on it. But this weekend I will. And when I say will, you know I'm a truth talker, and I will. So I will try to have that ready for you by Sunday. Cheeseburger in Paradise. I just have to get the melody in my head and how the song goes. And because I had never really listened to it. Hey Jude is one, when I know the key, I can pretty much wing it because I can hear that song in my head because I grew up listening to it. Kaylin says excited, yay. Z says no worries. Gene's here, welcome. So let me get started, but I just came from my grandkids' track meet. It's a huge regional meet. They had people from Tucson, New Mexico. They're gonna be running until 10 o'clock tonight. Not my grandkids, but other kids. So they were in back-to-back heats. So both the granddaughters ran in one heat. John, who's the second oldest, ran in his own heat, and David's now in high school, 9th grade, so he ran in his heat. So we finished and everything was done like 6:45, 6:40. So I knew I could get home in time for, which I'm glad, to do my set. K-Max here. Welcome to Fiesta Friday. Gene says, I never learned Cheeseburger. Yeah, I'd only heard it maybe twice in my life, honestly. I wasn't, I was familiar with Margaritaville, of course, and then Come Monday, which is my favorite, but I'd heard of Cheeseburger in Paradise, but never listened to it. So I still have to listen to that song to get the melody in my head and learn it. I'm going to try to pull it out by Sunday. So tomorrow, I mentioned on Wednesday, Kaylin, when you tuned in, no, I didn't mention it. I messaged you about this, so, and I'm going to play Amy's Lullaby. I need to warm up, and here's why. I've been asked to, last year, I took end-of-life doula. Remember you guys, might have been the fall before. And I had mentioned it back then, a death doula, it's called, but end of life doula is a class. Kaylin was my former instructor. She was in, I think, the first cohort. I was in the second or third class they ever offered. So it's a 3-day class on how to be there for people, you know, in their end of stage, for the family and all that stuff. So I had a lot of experience with that before. So before I even took that, just over life, doing eulogies and everything like that, being there when my grandfather passed, like took his last breath, just other stuff. So I was asked by Jimmy G, who teaches it, to come in tomorrow. Tomorrow's their second of 3 days in a row to get certified. And he wanted me to talk a little bit about my experience as an end-of-life doula and if I would sing a song, play music. And I said, absolutely. So so I've got the script kind of in my head. I'm going to sketch out some talking points because I dislike using, just like with songs, I dislike using lyric sheets unless I absolutely need to. And I'm not going to sit there and read off a cue card. So I've been going over the last couple of days in my head, my spiel. That's, you know, I used to design and deliver leadership training in my prior life. So I've developed platform skills and I'm a performer. So I wanted to get this nice flowing story in my head, and the title is going to be Answering the Call. And then I kind of stole this from a TV show, but Moonlight. Amy, you'll remember that Moonlight, the vampire series. So it was in one of the episodes, and I'm going to start off by saying, so every good story has to have a title. I said a theme, and the theme of my short little presentation is going to be something like Answering the Call. I said, but every good story, in every good story, there's a girl. I said, and there's one in this one. I said, but you'll have to wait to the end to hear about it. And so what I'm going to do is weave this story about how I've answered the call in my life that included music, massage therapy, getting creamed and T-boned in South Carolina. I made it answer the call to come home, and how all these things have been, Amy, you'll see at the beginning of the history of the Eagles, Joe Walsh is going to talk about that. He quotes that a famous French philosopher that he doesn't name by name, but you can find it on Google. And he says, at the time you live your life, it's like calamity and chaos and what's going on. And then when you look back on it, it's like a finely crafted novel. And often our lives are like that. But I've always seen a thread of divinity woven itself through my life, even through the chaos and all of that. So I'm going to tell these stories about how I answered the call. And then this little lullaby song I wrote from this beautiful woman I'm still friends with when we had a long distance relationship, and I wrote this song. And I've played it at memorial services, all kinds of stuff, but it's been, it's a song I wrote for somebody, the only one I've written for somebody, and it's been used especially for like memorial services, because the theme of this is end of life. And so I'm going to wrap all that thread up with your lullaby song. So I've already got this, like I can see, I go through stuff like this in my head. I've already like sat there and talked. I just need to get on my talking points. And then I weave this story, and then I'm going to end on. I'm going to end with, and I'm going to tell them. Even you'll remember when my roommate, Lori's her elderly cat passed. Remember 2.5 years ago, and it's still hard to even talk about. He was my little buddy, and he went in for surgery at the office, and they called us and said he passed, but then he revived, and he stayed alive long enough for us to go down there, and I brought my guitar, and I got to sing your lullaby just before he crossed over on the Rainbow Bridge. I told that story during my end-of-life doula class, and the whole place was like flooded. We were like knee-deep in tears, and that was never my intent. I just tell my stories, and then I got to do Reiki on him, and I felt his life force leaving him all the way from his tail to his head. It was really special moment. So I'm going to talk about these things and about how you can show up using your gifts as an end-of-life doula and plant a seed that it might be more than what you walked in here with, and mine just happens to be music. I'm going to talk about being a volunteer with Musicians on Call out of Nashville and all that stuff, but I'm going to weave this thing all the way down to sharing the song, because it was always about a girl. and mine's still a great story because we're friends, and I'm going to play the lullaby. So Kaylin, I thought you might be interested in that. So because I messaged you, Jimmy invited me to go tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So probably after their lunch break or something. So I'm going to be down there for that. And I get to play Amy's Lullaby, which I'm going to end on tonight because I haven't done it in probably like a few weeks, which is unusual, and I just need to brush up on it. So I thought I would share that with you. Oh, and then one quick thing. My landlords, Doctors Lauren and Michael, where I lease my office, they're flying tomorrow to Kauai for 2 weeks for their 6th wedding anniversary. And they're the most wonderful, delightful couple. So I brought my guitar in my car for my one session today before they closed at 1. And I said, hey, when do you guys leave? And they said, we're booked till 1. I said, do you have any break? And he goes, let me talk to Lauren. So he said, yeah, we've got a few minutes. So I ran out to my guitar and I brought it in and I said, come up front to the lobby and sit. And they've never heard me play ever. And so I mentioned the other day about, Blue Hawaii. And they're in their 30s. And Dr. Lauren said, oh, that was my favorite movie growing up. Like, so her mom showed her an Elvis movie. So I brought my guitar in today and I sat and serenaded them in the lobby just before their patient came in and my client showed up, and I played them, I figured I had one shot and one song, so I played Can't Help Falling in Love, which I just played the other night because I played that for when I officiated Kaylin's wedding. And then I finished and Dr. Lauren said, that's the song that Dr. Michael and I danced to at our wedding. Like, I had no clue. Can't write stuff like that. That happened this afternoon. It was awesome. So I don't know what's been going on with music lately with me. Like, something happened on Wednesday, I don't know, and like last week, it was just different. So that's my life today. I probably talked too long, but I had stuff I wanted to share. So let's get some music going. I'm going to play my buddy Steve Holtz, and then I'll warm up with a song or two, and I'm going to take a stab at Kaylin's request. Well, I love everything about you, and I love the way you comb your hair, and I love the way you sashay in the room. Your perfume lingers in the air. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. And I love the way you lick your lips, dear. You got fireworks in your inner head. And I love the way you bring me water when I'm thirsty in your bed. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. You were surely kissed by angels. Just look at the freckles on your face. You got a devil in your eyes. You disappear without a trace. Well, I love sneaking up behind you when you're looking in the mirror. The way your eyes lock into mine, dear. Without guilt love everything about you. Whoa, about you. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. All right, kicking off this edition of Fiesta Friday with a little of my buddy Steve Poltz. Sip him if you got him. Welcome, my tribe. So good to see you. Kaylin, last night I was thinking about the set and I was like, oh, right at the end I saw that Aves was there with you, and it didn't pop into my head, and it's okay, it wasn't meant to. But I have a lullaby for her I'm going to play. A different song, a different lullaby. She may or may not have seen the movie. You will know it. I don't try to string people along just to keep you hanging out. I'll get at it in a minute, but I just brought that up so I didn't forget. Let me catch up on comments. Z said, I always like that song. Oh, Cheeseburger in Paradise, yeah. You spoke at the class today? Oh, so he invited you down? That is so awesome. I've looked at your posts. You've got a lot of wonderful stories as an end-of-life doula, and what a calling we answered. I'm so glad I followed your footsteps after that. Amy said, yes, also lovely. Oh yeah, your story. Tara, what? Well done. Oh my gosh. Pumpkin. Where did you move to? So Tara, Kaylin, I was part of the closure team of the Tempe campus. Then I went to Phoenix. And a week, I was a TA for clinic. And a week after I arrived there, they closed all the Southwest schools. And Tara was a TA at clinic. And Tara, Kaylin was she took over for our Swedish and taught our cranial sacral at the Tempe campus. And so Tara was so fun to work with. She was so awesome. That was one of her signature names was Pumpkin. Where are you living now? I can't remember. Where'd you move to? Florida? And then Virginia? I can't remember. I know you're still licensed because I see your funny posts. So we have some massage therapists, Mojo in the house. Tennessee, yeah. She says, Tara, nice to meet you. Yeah. Oh, Tara, you two would have loved each other. So, Kaylin, I don't know if you ever met Michelle. Michelle Reinhardt was the clinic manager that we both worked for at Phoenix. And then Michelle stayed my friend and ended up going down to Tucson. So she's working in another industry now. But she was our clinic manager. And she hired Tara as soon as she finished school, just like I was hired right after I got licensed. So Michelle made sure she didn't let Tara go. And she kept her on as a TA. And then I stayed on as an education TA and eventually rolled over to the clinic and took over clinic manager at Tempe. So we have some nice connections going on tonight. Where'd you say? Oh, Tennessee, that's where you're at. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. So our love triangle is a little lopsided, but it's I'm looking at it. Ohio, because there's Amy. Tennessee, Arizona. It's still a triangle. I always like to make a triangle for my tribe, for the ones who check in. All right, let me warm up my vocals one more. Oh, I know. I heard this on the way home, and I love the studio version of this. So some Elvis. So let's do this, and then I'm going to take a stab at a request from Kaylin, and then I've got a lullaby that came to me yesterday. It's like, oh, why didn't I think of that on Wednesday? But it's like, no, it's okay. I was in the moment, and I played what I was supposed to. So let me do this Elvis song too. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see I'm saying. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can't build our dreams on suspicious minds. So if an old friend I know drops by to say hello, would I still see suspicion in your eyes? Here we go again, asking where I've been. You can't see these tears are real, I'm crying. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can't build our dreams on suspicious minds. Won't let our love slide, I'll dry the tears from your eyes. Let's don't let a good thing die. You know I never lied to you. Yeah, we're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love her too much, baby. Why can't you see? Whoa, what you doing to me when you don't believe a word I'm saying? Don't you know I'm caught in a trap? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Oh man, I love that song. Boy, the studio version, they recorded that. I'd never heard of the studio, Memphis Sound or something like that. And they have these women, and it sounds like a choir in the background hitting Suspicious Minds, and it just, oh, I don't know why I well up with emotion. It reminds me of like a church choir. It's so beautiful. All right, as promised, we're going to switch guitars. Haven't even run through this all the way. So, I'm going to see if I can do due diligence. This was Kaylin's request, and only because I can hear it in my head am I going to take a stab at it. But this afternoon, I don't like playing an F, that effing F chord. As I used to tell my students that said, oh, I have trouble with F, and I said, yeah, I know, it's an effing F chord. It takes time to master, and it's like, in the key of F, it's B flat, that's okay, but then this song also, it's a E flat in this, and B, and it's a mess. So I pulled out my tune down guitar, did the math in my head really quick, and I went, transpose, let me see, what would this be? So I quickly figured out it's in G form, which I really like to play in. So fortunately I did that this afternoon, or I wouldn't have even taken a stab at it. Tara's out of Tennessee. Kaylin and Tara got to meet. There's Kel, she's checking in. Good to see you. All right, let me switch screens, so I'm gonna not be able to see comments. I'm gonna read from lyrics. There we go, I got the lyrics for Hey Jude by request. Never done this before. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not even sure that's a good key for me, but it's as you know, I like to honor tradition. So I try to learn things in the original key if possible. All right, here we go. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders. Well, you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Na 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 na, na na na. Hey Jude, don't let me down. You have found her, now go and get her. Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better. So let it out and let it in. Hey Jude, begin. You're waiting for someone to perform well. And don't you know that it's just you? Hey Jude, you'll do the movement you need is on your shoulder. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better. Better, 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 better. Ah! Na, 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 na. Hey Jude. Hey Jude. First time ever doing that, completely unrehearsed. So, but I could hear it in my head. Yeah, those Paul McCartney lyrics sometimes. That's why that tuned down guitar I used to play that song from the Lake House, because his vocals just get a little higher than mine. And I know he was only in his late 20s or early 30s when he recorded that, so I'm further along down the line. Anyway, I haven't even played it all the way through. That's the first time I even did any of that, so. Okay, I'm back on the screen so I can see you guys now. I had the lyrics. Kel says, beautiful, good job. Obsessed. Oh, so I didn't know until a couple of years ago, Paul McCartney wrote that for Julian Lennon, who I absolutely love. And that was John Lennon's eldest first son with his first wife. And I love Julian Lennon's music. Amy and I share a love for him. Too Late for Goodbyes, that was his first album called Valot. And I love that. And I've got a mini documentary I bought on iTunes a couple years ago with the guys from U2 and all these people. And he's a wonderful soul. And he is a world-class photographer. He has, Kelsey, you would like his stuff. I'm sure you've seen it. He does showings in New York and Paris. He doesn't record all the time, but he's brilliant. And so Julian is his given name, Julian Lennon, and Paul McCartney wrote that for him because his nickname for him as a kid was Jules. I never knew that. Or Jude. Hey, Jude. So Julian goes by Jules, but Jude was Paul's nickname for him. That's what he called him as a boy. I never knew that, and that's who that song's for. It's awesome. Anyway, share that. Amy says, nice. Oh, yeah, just Julian Lennon. I'm on his Facebook page. Oh, he's a wonderful person. Like, he's friends with Aerosmith and all these guys. That he's just a, see him in interviews, he's just a great soul. And he sounds a lot like his dad. That's just his voice. And I've got that documentary, that 40-minute mini documentary that came out with an album he put out like 8 or 10 years ago. And Steven Tyler's on there because he sung on it, and you know Steven Tyler's kind of edgy, and he goes, Steven Tyler, because Julian Lennon got all this pushback when he first recorded it. Oh my God, from all the critics, you know, what's he trying to do? And he sounds like his dad, and I won't repeat it here because we're trying to keep it PG. Steven Tyler says, so if you sound like your dad, and he writes is brilliant. He goes, if you sound like your dad and you write like your dad, he goes, he said, to all the jocks out there, meaning disc jockeys, that's what they used to call him, he goes, F you. He goes, it was just funny. It's a funny quote. Because he was giving Julian props because he just happens to sound like John Lennon. He's a Lennon. That's what he sounds like. But he writes his own music. Go to YouTube if you choose to, and Only Words. So, no. Nuno Betancourt. He was the guitar player for, with the other guy, Gary Sharon. They did that song, Only Words. So Julian Lennon never wanted to record his dad's music. He wanted to just honor it by letting it stand alone. But people wanted to hear him sing, so they did a music video of, he brought in Nuno Betancourt, played the guitar, and Julian Lennon, I don't think he played keyboards maybe. So it was just the two of them, and they did Imagine. And I think that came out like 2 years ago. Just go to YouTube and type in Julian Lennon Imagine. And he finally kind of, not gave in, but he wanted to honor his dad's legacy. People said, record your dad's music. And he goes, no, I never want to do that. My dad's music was his music. But he did Imagine, and he did a beautiful version. And Nuno Betancourt from Extreme plays the guitar in that, and it is lovely. Just a great version. So I encourage you, if you're not familiar with Julian Lennon, that was just done in the last couple of years. It's awesome. Too Late for Goodbyes, that was his first big hit off his first album. But he's a wonderful person, and I really like that about him. And he does photography. And he's just so great. Paul wrote it for him when he was upset about his parents' breakup. Yeah, he was just a kid. Yeah, because John left her for Yoko. Extreme, yep. Nuno's an awesome, he absolutely is great. He's a great guitarist. I love listening to interviews with Nuno Betancourt. Man, he is so funny and so good. Amy said, yes, you sent me his Imagine a while back. Yeah, so anybody wants to go to YouTube and type in Julian Lennon Imagine. And it's just the two of them in this like studio setting with candles and stuff. And he does a beautiful version of Imagine. I haven't played that in a long time. I used to play that sometimes for you guys. Imagine all, there's no heaven. I'm just winging it. I have no idea. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us on the sky. I don't know why I'm having these glasses. Imagine all the people living life at ease. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. I'm gonna have to relearn that. That's as much as I could remember. So I made the guitar parts come my own, but I followed the melody. All right. Nuno stole the show at the Ozzy Black Sabbath. Oh, I didn't know that you played that. Awesome. Okay, Kaylin, if you're still here, I've got a lullaby for your little one. So this is from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I saw that in the theater when I was a kid. Man, that's how old I am. But I only learned this a couple years ago, and I got thinking of this yesterday. Oh, I should have played this for Kaylin and her little one that was sitting there with her, and it's like, and it never came to mind. So I was like, it's okay. I was meant to think about it now. So we'll see how this one goes over. I haven't done this in a little while. A gentle breeze on Hushabye Mountain softly blows over Lullaby Bay. It fills the sails of boats that are waiting to sail your worries away. It isn't far from Hushabye Mountain, and your boat waits down by the quay. The winds of night so softly are sighing, soon they will blow your worries to sea. So close your eyes on Hushabye Mountain, say goodbye to cares of the day, and watch your boat from Hushabye Mountain sail far away from Lullaby Bay. So close your eyes on Hushabye Mountain, say goodbye to cares of the day, and watch your boat from Hushabye Mountain sail far away from Lullaby Bay. And I love that little song. As I've often said, sometimes the simplest songs are just the most beautiful. So that was from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was for Aves, A Bedtime Lullaby. Kaylin says, still here. Yay, glad. Oh, good. We're going to do it on time because I installed your quarter after. And you're welcome. Let's see. Oh, I haven't done this Beatles song in a while. Talking about Beatles. I like to stay fresh on this one so I don't lose it. And I mentioned I didn't hear the song until like 2 years ago. I heard it on Sirius XM on channel 18, the Beatles channel. I went, what? So I came home and I listened to it for like 5 days straight, going back and forth to my office. I put it on my little SIM card because I wanted to learn it. And so I haven't done this in a while, but let's do this in 1, 2, 3. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl if you don't take her out tonight, she's gonna change her mind. And I will take her out tonight, and I won't treat her kind. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. If you don't treat her right, my friend, you're gonna find her gone. 'Cause I will treat her right, and then you'll be the lonely one. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose. I'll make a point of taking her away from you. Watch what you do, yeah. The way you treat her, what else can I do? You're gonna lose that girl. 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 You're gonna lose. I'll make a point of taking her away from you. Watch what you do, yeah. The way you treat her, what else can I do? If you don't take her out tonight, she's gonna change her mind. And I will take her out tonight, and I will treat her kind. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. Man, I haven't done that in a while. I start almost fumbling on a few of the chords. I gotta stay fresh on that one, but I felt like doing some Beatles. Oh, all right. This is some Bon Jovi. Hello again, it's you and me. Kinda always like it used to be. Sipping wine, killing time, trying to solve life's mysteries. How's your life? It's been a while. God, it's good to see you smile. To see you reaching for your keys, looking for a reason not to leave. If you don't know if you should stay, if you don't say what's on your mind, baby, just breathe. There's nowhere else tonight we should be. You wanna make a memory. I dug up this old photograph. Look at all that hair we had. It's bittersweet to hear you laugh. Your phone's ringing, I don't wanna ask if you go now. I'll understand if you stay. Hey, I got a plan. You wanna make a memory. You wanna steal a piece of time. You can sing the melody to me, and I could write a couple lines. You wanna make a memory. If you don't know if you should stay, and you don't say what's on your mind, baby, just breathe. There's nowhere else tonight we should be. We should be. You wanna make a memory. wanna steal a piece of time. You could sing a melody to me, and I could write a couple lines. You wanna make a memory. Oh, you wanna make a memory. Oh, I haven't done that in a bit. Woo! Channeling some of my inner Bon Jovi. Then my muse during that song said, "You need to do this Bob Schneider." Little Bob Schneider song from Austin, Texas, because it's kind of like a lullaby too. I haven't done this in a little bit, so I love this little song. Sully was a pilot in the nationally known Amazing Ladies of the Outer Ozone. She didn't have no kids, she didn't have no time. She was a woman of her word, she was a fighter of crime. She looked good in a hat, she had a natural way. With tools and no cars, she went to UCLA. Everybody said she was as crazy as 11. When she was a girl, she'd spend every afternoon sitting in her backyard pretending to be a fighter ace in the Japanese military. She liked to make up her mind, she kept her feet in the air. She wore her heart on her sleeve because she found it there. It was all well and good until she met this young man, a young pilot named Steve with a beautiful tan. He spoke English and French and he swam like a swan, had a mouthful of teeth and more style than Cezanne. He could talk to the bees, he could breathe in the air. He wore his heart on his sleeve because he found it there. And they'd sit in the trees and they'd talk through the night while the blind moon swam in the pale starry light. They talked and they crowed and they told what they knew. It was better than beer, it was all strange and new. There was grass all around, it was black up above. It was more than hello, it was something like love. And I don't know why life, it seems to be so hard for dreamers like you and me. When love is love, is everywhere. Oh, I haven't done that one in a while. I love that little Bob Schneider song. Who his friends, his musician friends, you usually listen to said, don't put that song on your album. So he got a bunch of a string quartet in there and did beautiful violins and strings to that, and he put it on his album. His first album, which I have, and that was the last song on that album, and it is gorgeous. So he followed his intuition, which you must do, and your inner muse. I love that little song. Amy said, sounds great. Thank you. Let's let's see. I've got time for one or two more, and I'm going to end on Amy's Lullaby. So let's see. Okay, back up to the 5th fret. My muse says, "Timing is everything," from that Gwyneth Paltrow movie, Country Strong. So I've shared that story many times where I got T-boned in South Carolina. 2 knee surgeries, and by the grace of God, Mercedes Engineering saved my life, and or I wouldn't be here. And then I was sitting there with my MacBook Pro up on my lap in South Carolina. I was looking up healing frequencies of music because I'd never had anything like that happen before. I couldn't spell tibial plateau fracture compartment syndrome or fasciotomy until they happened to me. And that was 2011. And I heard this little song that I had downloaded from that soundtrack, but this time I heard it, and Springsteen talks about songs take on different meaning over time, and so I sat there in tears saying, oh man, so this could be any of our song, and I haven't done this one in a while. So I said, as soon as I'm healed up, I'm going to learn it, so I have, and I'm going to play it. When the stars line up and you catch a good break, people think you're lucky, but you know it's grace, and it can happen so fast. We're a little bit late, timing is everything. You know, I've had close calls when it could have been me, and I was young when I learned just how fragile life can be. I lost friends of mine, yes, it wasn't my time. Timing is everything. And I could have been a child that God took home, and I would have been one more unfinished song. When it seems a rhyme is hard to find, that's when one comes along just in time. Well, I remember that day when our eyes first met. You ran into the building to get out of the rain because you were soaking wet. And as I held the door, you wanted to know my name. Timing is everything. And I could have been another minute late. You never would have crossed my path that day. And when it seems true love is hard to find, that's when one love comes along just in time. You can call it fate, a destiny. Sometimes it really seems like it's a mystery. You can be hurt by love or healed by the same. Timing is everything. And it can happen so fast or a little bit late. Timing is everything. Oh, haven't done that one a bit. I love that little song. I love how those simple, sweet songs can sometimes just be the best. Oh, where are we? All right, my tribe. So good to see everybody here. Thanks for waiting while I was at my grandkids' their running event and gave me just enough time. Fortunately, it was here in the East Valley, so I got home pretty quick. Kaylin said, beautiful, thank you, you're welcome. Amy says, sounds great, thank you. Jeans, loved it. Kaylin says, love this one. Yeah, that's a beautiful little song. Timing is everything. Yeah, so let's end on this one, I think. So this is a lullaby I wrote years ago for Amy, and I'm going to play it tomorrow for that class after I weave my way through my answering a call story. And this song that I have played, I don't know, all kinds, it's like, I don't know, played it for, I think, at weddings and lots of memorial services by request. So I haven't done this in a little while, so I'm going to go over it again tonight. When you go to sleep at night, remember to let your soul take flight. But if you drift away too far, I'll ride a moonbeam where you are. The stars are calling, and I'm falling. As you lay your head to sleep, counting heartbeats instead of sheep, just breathe my name and call me there. I'll sprinkle stardust in your hair. The moon is calling, and I'm falling. If I could lay you down to sleep, praying alone your soul to keep, the night is calling, and I have fallen. So sleep you well, my turtle dove, you'll forever be my one true love. All right, gang. There you have it. That's the perfect song to close out this Fiesta Friday with, I think. And a good warm-up for tomorrow when I get to share that song with a bunch of trainees who will on Sunday be certified as end-of-life doulas, like Kaylin and myself, sharing our gifts and comfort and what we can as families and loved ones approach their end of life. It's a calling we answered, and yeah, and a beautiful service we're able to provide. So I'm so grateful I got asked to come back and speak to this class tomorrow. So and I'm going to weave that story and end with that song. So it's not my intent, but if the room's full of tears like it was when I played that for my classmates, I'll have served my purpose, because music does that. The root of music is muse. It's Zeus's 7 daughters who were there. They're there for inspiration, divine inspiration. So music inspires in it, and it should move you, and touch you in some way. So anyway, I get to share that tomorrow. I get to dust it off a little bit tonight because I haven't done it in a while. So thanks for hanging in while I did that. So good to see my tribe. Thanks for the request. Z, I will endeavor to do my best to learn Cheeseburger in Paradise by Sunday. It's been like a week, and it's like, I know I can't get that song in my head. It's gonna come. I'll wake up some mornings and just lay in bed and go over it. I'm kind of getting it. So and it's not very lengthy. I never really listened to it, so I have to do that. So I want to learn it though. That'll give me, well, 3 Jimmy Buffett songs, although I haven't played Margaritaville. And I learned that. I did it like twice, but come Monday, that's my staple. So we'll add this to the Jimmy Buffett short set. We'll have to do that sometime soon. So he said, thanks. You're welcome, Gene. Tomorrow's audience is for a lovely and moving story. Thank you for sharing your gift. So I have to compose like a story that it's succinct in it, and it moves you along and tells a tale, all about answering the call. So that's going to be my theme tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Galen says, I second Gene. Thank you. Music touches your soul. Indeed, Z. As it should. All right, my tribe. Thank you so much for being here. As always, namaste. The divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. Thank you. Keeping yourselves healthy, those immune systems bolstered up. Thanks so much for joining in on this Fiesta Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday as your weekend comes sliding into it tomorrow. I will be back as usual, same bat time and channel, 5 p.m. Mountain for Soulful Sunday. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for continuing to send along those song suggestions. I get at them when I can. Sometimes I overwhelm myself because I want to do them really well, but I eventually just get over that and then and hammer them out. So up to bat, is Cheeseburger in Paradise. So I will get that done as soon as I can. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time.